Pinball 2000 is half of a game that you've probably seen from a different place. You see, back in the early to mid 90s, on the Commodore Amiga, Digital Illusions, yes, that one, originally started out as making, pinball games. These games were published by 21st Century Entertainment, who is also known for the game Absolute Pinball. For some odd reason, Expert Software, a branch of Activision, in 1995 released two tables from DICE's very first game, Pinball Dreams, as the compilation Pinball 2000. Now, for the interest of science and whatnot, I'm going to be comparing both the DOS and the Amiga version of Pinball Dreams, just to give you an idea. Beautiful! Of course, the audio settings weren't right. And here it is, Pinball 2000. Now, since this is what I consider a third-party port of a game, it doesn't have everything exactly right to the T. Now, this may or may not be DOSBox's fault, but for some reason the pinball physics in Pinball 2000 are a bit... The physics just felt a bit off. I had to keep pausing the game, changing cycles in DOSBox, and it still didn't quite get it to the level that I feel the Amiga version had. Now, the controls are almost identical to the Amiga version. There's not really much to say about this. In terms of changes to the tables, there are a few. In the DOS version, this table is known as Rocket, while in the Amiga version it's called Ignition. On a weirder note, the table which is known as Nightmare on the menu of the original Amiga version, which is actually called Graveyard in the Amiga version, on the table itself, is actually called Graveyard on the DOS version. Go fucking figure. The sound and music in both versions of the game are basically the same, except for a little bit of stuttering on the DOS part, but that might have just been the emulator. Let's listen to some of that kick-ass theme. On the subject of whether or not you should get this, well, if you can't find the Amiga version or the full DOS version, this wouldn't be a bad purchase to get. It only cost me $1. With that being said, if you can find the full versions of either of these and you have the machines to run them, or if you have a good installation of DOSBox set up, I do highly recommend using and getting the full version of Pinball Dreams.